So let's talk about hip rotation versus forceful leg drive. I'm going to play the video for you here. We're going to go through phase 1 and 2, and I'll let you kind of think about what you see, and you could always stop the video and not listen to me to make your own observations, if you will. But what I'm seeing here is something that has really dawned upon me this year, that we've got to fix this one aspect of the jump, or we're going to have underwhelming numbers, and it's probably one of the larger issues in triple jump. I've thought about aspects of what I'm about to tell you. I've even come up with drills prior in the past that I've posted my website, but I never really properly connected all the dots of, how, why, what, when, all of those different things. And we have to do that for our athletes to truly understand what's kind of going on there. I will now start coaching my hop rotation box drills a little bit differently to really kind of communicate what we're about to discuss and see, as well as keep it in mind when thinking about long jump, and really watching where things are at in the long jump as well. So let's play this video. Let's check things out. Again, if you want to pause after I'm done playing phase 1 and 2 here, and kind of gather your own thoughts, by all means, please do. So this is an athlete who, in my personal opinion, had fantastic off the board first phase posture, continuity, everything. And then there's phase 2. And obviously phase 2, in my opinion, did not look like it matched phase 1. Like phase 1, I thought looked really, really good. There was maybe some aspects of it that were a little potentially off, but then phase 2 was pretty short in comparison. So here's one more time for you to see. Okay, if you want to pause, you're more than welcome to now to kind of think through that. Otherwise, I'm going to continue talking about what I see. So, first and foremost, this athlete may have gotten a little high off the board. If you look at shin angles, they tell a lot. I mean, truthfully, this looks long jumper in nature, but he is pushing forward. He's doing a pretty good job pushing forward in this. So if he's high in the first phase, it's not by much, in my personal opinion. The rotation, the body control, everything looks pretty good, in my personal opinion. Maybe some arm work could have been in there, but ultimately I feel really, really good about this. It's the leg closest to us that makes the largest impact in a negative way on this jump. And this is something that I'm seeing males and females do equally in their jumps. And in the last 3 weeks or so, after really starting to see this more and more in videos, and looking for things to put in the first book update that you're looking at right now, I have seen this in pretty much every athlete that has reached out to me regarding how can I get better in preparation for the championship phase of our season. And it's all over the place. And I have some pretty easy fixes, not that I have right now in this specific video, but I'm going to create some that I will put in this chapter as well for you to see that are below this QR code. So watch this leg closest to us here. Okay, its path allowed it to lock at the knee and then continue forward the heel towards the backside of the body, that is. Then if you just watch the hip, knee drive, and how the toe moves, there's really not a lot of force and power there. Just kind of steps forward. And we've been asking ourselves, at least I have, and I've heard other coaches do it for a long time, why is my athlete just taking a small step? Especially when you see a pretty darn good first phase and you're thinking, oh, that's beautiful. Now he's going to really pop off that second phase. And you're like, wait, what happened? It was just a step. Again, I think a lot of coaches in this situation, if we're talking about being mindful of cues as well, the last, point in the update here, like, what do athletes generally hear from their coach? Get your knee up, right? But that's that's only going to confuse the athlete further. Like, I was trying to get my knee up. What do you mean get my knee up? How do I get my knee up? Like, what do I have to do differently? Is there something in the middle of my jump that I'm doing wrong? Like, when do I have to change things to get the knee up? And unfortunately, a lot of coaches can't answer that. They're just saying, get your knee up. So when we do this and we're focusing on that first phase, we've got to leave our foot somewhere down in this area, not allowing it to really necessarily lock, at the knee. And when we do that, then, and this is probably still okay here. I would have loved to see him be landing right now because it would be in a perfect position. It's almost like kicking a soccer ball. And again, like I said, I've done videos that I posted elsewhere on my site, and it might even actually be in the book. I can't remember if I put it in there or not, but a video of athletes doing my rotational drill and then kicking a cone, right? They go up on the box, they do the first phase, they rotate, and they leave that non-jump leg behind them on the box, and then they come through and kick the cone. I've done drills like this before, but what I've never done is really, again, connected everything. Another thought that I had when watching these videos that's really stuck with me the last couple of weeks is what a coach told me many, many years ago when we were discussing an athlete who kind of came out of nowhere, who used to be a soccer player, and then started just destroying records in the triple jump. And at the time, I was very young in my career, and he said something along the lines of, well, he was a soccer player. He's going to be a natural in this. And I had no clue what he was talking about. And being the kind of person I was, I didn't want to look like an idiot, so I didn't ask. And it took me many years later to kind of really, put it into, like a way that I could translate it. And it's because that kid was very good at kicking soccer balls, right? That's what it was. Basically, when you come through on this second phase, you want to really drive that toe and act as though you're kicking a soccer ball. And if you allow your foot to get to here, you're never going to be able to kick that soccer ball properly. And so again, I've thought of these things. I've done things like this, and I've thought about that leg swinging through and trying to make more of a kicking soccer ball action. But my problem with my cues when I was doing this is I never really talked about the potential of the locking of the knee or the foot getting too close to the butt. I never once focused on those things. Now, do we need to get too descriptive with our athletes? It depends athlete to athlete. There's some that'll take that better than others. Ultimately, I think we just need to be very mindful of this in our drills as well as how we communicate things to our athletes. Because again, if we're thinking about the cues, saying get your knee up to this kid, they're not going to have a clue what to do. And so we have to be very good about putting this foot in a proper position in anything and everything that we do. Okay. So if you watch this one, okay, let's watch now in the jump phase, the back leg on this side. Okay. That's where I would have loved that leg to be coming out of the second phase, or getting into the second phase, excuse me. That's where I would have loved to see it. Now, he still doesn't necessarily kick that leg through like a soccer ball. He actually still just rotates at the hips. So this one looks better, but again, if you're thinking about what you really want to tell an athlete in terms of where things need to be, you also need to tell them then how it needs to be performed and so on. Not just saying, get your leg behind you, not just saying, get your knee up, okay? You have to tell them, feel that leg behind you, and then put them through a large number of drills that help them to feel the proper leg positioning, timing, and all those other things. And again, I'll provide some other videos of that. So if you watch here, again, the toe doesn't really come through aggressively. It just kind of goes up towards the butt a little bit again and then gets up. Now this again looks 100 times better, but I'm telling you there could have been more power in that last phase than what he got. Because that's probably, I would say, a 14-foot maybe long jump. maybe something around that range. But ultimately, I think that this athlete is way more capable than that. In that, just looking at his general phases and what he's capable in doing, and his strength levels look right where I'd want them to be for a tripler. So again, if we helped that athlete to get off the hot phase properly off the board and get that leg in a proper positioning for then a proper takeoff, he would have gotten a lot more in that second phase. And then if we help that athlete to really think about his back leg here, putting it in the proper position yet again, he would have gotten more on the jump phase as well. At least that's my personal opinion. So continue reading, obviously, through this. Check out the other videos, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Because again, like I said, I think this is one of the biggest issues currently affecting, negatively impacting the triple jump, and so we need to get past this to help our athletes truly understand how to attack the second and third phases properly to maximize their distance.